Hi, I'm Dawn Reese, and with my show we have product selling as well, and we're here to find people that, such as yourself, write books and how you did it. But you have an amazing story that I want to capture today on camera, and we'll get some press pictures at the end. But we had met back a couple of years ago at my son's pool. We were swimming, and you were telling me that you wrote this book called Overcoming Celebrity Obsession.
Right.
And this is really important because you have some really powerful points in your book. And first off, how did you start out as a celebrity, would you say obsession at the time? Take two. And
Okay, I looked at you can see the picture right here. I looked at that and I had a psychic reading about it, an idea, and I identified with it, and that got me hooked.
Okay, and then what happened when you were younger? How old were you?
I was almost 15 years old.
Okay, then what happened from there? How did it inspire? I know this is all in your book, so they have to read your book and buy your book. And what were the signs that that you really wanted to meet David Cassidy and some of the stars at that time?
Because I felt something.
And what happened after that? Did you get to meet them?
No.
Okay. Did you get discouraged not meeting them at that point?
Well, it was a goal for me. I'd hoped someday it would happen. I met John Travolta, though.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, and how did you feel after you met him?
I felt good.
Okay, and then you felt like your goal was accomplished?
Yeah, well, kind of accomplished.
Okay, and what was your ultimate dream? I mean, what was your ultimate dream when you were younger, when you were going through the celebrity obsession?
That I wanted to meet them, have a relationship, get married, have children with them.
Right. Now, did anything during that time happen with you going through trying to meet these celebrities? What stopped you? What was enough when you realized there was a problem?
Let's see. David got married, and I thought John was having an affair with some woman, which that didn't work out. And then Michael J. Fox got married, so that ended that.
Okay. Did you ever get in trouble by chance when you were stalking the celebrities at the time? As they call celebrities?
I wasn't stalking them. It was, I'd say the closest I came with John was that he was on the movie set.
Okay.
And all I did was go to this Horn and Hard Arts, where I've heard, which was I explained that it's like a luncheonette place.
Okay.
Well, it's not a luncheonette, it's like a cafeteria.
Okay.
And he wasn't there. But I didn't really stalk them.
What's the difference between stalking and celebrity obsession? Can you explain that to my viewers?
What's the difference? I guess stalking is when you physically go out and go to their home or their hotel.
Right.
Or wherever they're really working, but this was a public thing.
Right. So you just wanted to meet them and greet them and see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I thought someday, at the time with John, I was taking film classes, so I'd hoped that would have eventually led to a career that would have led me to him.
Okay. Now, there are other parents out there, and of course your book has, I don't know how many pages in it?
Oh boy, 484.
How long did it take you to write this book?
This particular one, about 3 years, but
wow.
In total, it probably took a lot longer because this is the end of 3 books.
Oh, really?
Which was, but there were problems with it, so this is kind of a compilation.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. And can you tell us about the book? What's all in the book?
What's all in this?
Like the different chapters, like little sprinkles of different chapters to let people know what this book entitles in the chapters, what they're about.
Okay, well, I say that it's basically...
To sum it all up in different chapters.
Different chapters. It's all about what celebrity obsession's all about. But basically, it's 3 phases.
Okay.
We have to go through the obsession. Then we have to go through what's wrong in our lives, and then we have to think, what are we going to have to do to make improvements in our lives?
Wow, that's a powerful point. What did you do for the second step in your life? Like after the first phase, what was the second phase in your life when you realized what you had just said?
Well, I had to write down. Well, the second phase actually is about. I got that maybe shortly after I met you.
Oh!
I got into this phase too. I thought I might as well have the courage to go into this terrible phase of my life because this is what people want to escape from.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you escape from it? By writing it out and realizing, is it a problem for people that are going through celebrity obsession, or is it, what would you call it?
It's probably a problem people are having.
Mm-hmm. And what would you tell mothers out there that have girls that were 15 as you were, and they start to see the signs? What are the warning signs of, oh my gosh, I think my child is more obsessed with Justin Bieber, these little girls. And
yeah,
that's a good point.
They had somebody like that on YouTube, and I guess it's when he kind of seems to take over their lives.
Mm-hmm. And what would you tell the parents to do? That they don't
be understanding.
Right. Any other points? Because this is really important because I have a lot of kids in show business and a lot of kids that I know and a lot of stars that I've worked with as well. And and some parents will say, if they got the kids. I remember I had a poster of somebody in my room besides a horse.
Yeah.
At one time when I was younger and I wanted to be somebody, but I wanted to interview them. That was my thing. I wanted to interview people and get the real stories. So that was a blessing, and I went through college. But there's a sign that people need to see. What are the signs that my daughter has all these posters of this celebrity, or they're too much over? What else would you tell the parents what to do? Besides read your book. Buy your book.
Right. Well, let's see. I think it's that you have to be, like I said, you have to be understanding.
Did you have someone in your life at that time that was understanding?
I don't think so.
Okay, wow. So you really, did you go to anybody?
Maybe some people were sympathetic about it.
Wow, this is a documentary. This is wow. Okay, now when you were going through that phase and you had really nobody to talk to, I guess, how did you, when you came out of realization that this is too much, how did you stop yourself? Is it writing the book that made you realize it?
No, it was what I said. Then they went on to other relationships.
Okay, so then you went on to the next celebrity. Is that right, maybe?
That's right.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, this is new for me, so I'm learning here on some things. Okay, and
then there was what was it? Quite a few years before, maybe 4 or 5 years before.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, one of the important chapters in here is what I call marriage memorial.
Okay, explain that.
That is for when celebrities get married, and girls are really upset about it. So I have this whole ritual because I think it's important. Sometimes it's like a death, and so we should treat it like that.
Did you have someone in your life that was special for you, with you at the time when you were dating, or did you have a special soulmate or a boyfriend at that time?
I had several at different times.
And what did they think about your celebrity obsession?
I never told them.
Okay, so it was something that you held in, and then you wrote out the book.
Some people knew about it, but not them.
And what about the people that knew about it? What did they say? What was their advice to you? Just from the heart, if you told them this is what I like to do, or whatever it was at the time.
They didn't think it was realistic. Or they would treat it, I guess the way to compare it is if you have a 5-year-old who wants to marry Barney, like the dinosaur, it's almost like that.
Right. Now, your ultimate goal with this book is to get on national talk shows, because I've never seen a book like this or read a book. As I said, my production company took it over because they're reading it now.
I want people to really understand this phase of life.
That it's real.
That it's real, and that it's not really about worshiping your people, or as long as you know that that there are people that you can stop. It's not that at all.
Right. Did you get any help at the time? Did you get to see someone, like, here's an example for me. After my divorce, I went to therapy, and then I said, forget therapy, I'm going to comedy school. So I turned a negative to a positive for 5 years. So I had, going through a divorce at a young age, and getting someone to speak to. Did you ever have anyone to speak to at all during that time of where you were kind of struggling with that? I would say it's an addiction on something, as well.
I think the professionals understood it.
Right.
And when I decided to write about it, what made me write about it is that I was having trouble in relationships, and I thought, well, why am I stalled? Why do I feel mechanical? Mm-hmm. And so I decided I'm going to study it.
Okay. And what did you study? How did you get your resources for this book as well?
My resources.
Uh-huh.
A lot of it's what I remembered.
Right.
And when I was going through it, a lot of fan magazines, a lot of biographies, talk shows.
Did you have posters on your wall as a kid as well as the celebrities?
I didn't.
Really? So
no, I had like a TV, and it was on a stand, and I put the magazines up. And
so sometimes, even though a child may be going through this, they may not have the posters in their rooms.
Not necessarily.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And the ending of this right now on your chapter, can you give us what the ending is kind of about in your book? A little.
The ending is kind of about going through who you are and what you like.
Okay. And how now, after you wrote the book, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about this book after you wrote it? And
I feel good about it. It feels fulfilled. The other two, they made me feel like there's got to be something more.
Right. And it will help other people as well, and parents to read this?
Yes.
Right. And how much is your book? About.
Oh boy, this is a little too much. $29.95, but you can get the ebook for $3.
Okay, so where can they buy the ebook? Where can they go to?
Barnes and Noble sites, Amazon sites.
Okay. And let me ask you this: have you hit the talk show circuit besides my show as a kickoff with this interview as a personal one-on-one?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Now, would your goal be to be on the morning show with Barbara Walters and the Ellen and other talk shows around the United States?
If I can get through, I suppose.
Okay, well, you've got a book you're trying to sell, and it's called exposure, and getting out there and being known, and people seeing what you've done and reading the book throughout the whole pages.